Welcome, replay viewers. Lucky Dog, good afternoon to you. Hello, everybody. As you can see, we're at the railroad station, Mastic-Shirley station. How are you today? Andrea, how are you? Welcome. Thanks for joining today. I'm at the Mastic-Shirley railroad station waiting for the arrival of Jamaica to Montauk train 8710. We'll see that in about 8 minutes, provided I can swat these yellow jackets away from my head. It's a beautiful day out here on eastern Long Island, and I'm sure it's beautiful in the city today. I'm going to do this train video, arrival and departure of 8710, and then we're going to hop back in the truck and drive south on William Floyd Parkway about the 5 miles down to Smith Point, and we'll take a walk over to the ocean at the Fire Island National Seashore just to see how things are over there. I was there on Friday morning, and the surf was really up. It was really roiling, you know, caused by Hurricane Florence when it was still off the coast of Carolina on Friday. There was pretty rough seas, and we'll see how much it's calmed down in the last 2 days. Probably not that much, though.
Railroad customers, the 1:20 p.m. train to Montauk is expected to arrive on track 1, platform A, in approximately 6 minutes.
Okay, that says it's operating on time. Track 1, platform A, which is really kind of funny when you hear these cookbook announcements. There is only one track here. There's only one platform. Well, they're commuter trains on Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sunday, they're basically, well, people are still commuting on the weekend, but not as many as Monday to Friday. But what they do on the weekend is they bring people to and from the east end of Long Island, in and out of New York City. As an example, this train is leaving. It left Jamaica in Queens. Obviously, you get on the electric train at Penn Station and you go to Jamaica, and then you transfer over to the diesel train. And this train runs out here to eastern Long Island all the way to Montauk, and it carries people who had business in the city today or whatever, or visiting. But its primary role right now at this time of year is to get the equipment out east to Montauk so that it can be turned around to help bring back all the weekend visitors back to New York from the east end of Long Island. So we'll see how many cars it operates with today here in September 16th. In the summertime, this train operates with anywhere from 8 to 10 Kawasaki Bilevel passenger cars, C3 passenger cars. In the off-season, they usually operate with 1 locomotive and 6 C3 cars, the rear car being a cab car, which means the engineer can operate the train in the opposite direction from an engineering cab in at the end of the passenger car. So we'll see what they have today, whether they have a set of 6 C3s, or goes an airplane over. Long Island skydiving. Taking people up to skydive here from Calabro Airport, Brookhaven Town Airport here, just a mile to the north of me. So anyway, with regard to the train, the equipment here, 8710, we'll see today how many cars they have.
Hi, I'm Jay Fiedler, thanking you for not smoking. Attention Long Island Railroad customers, the 1:20 p.m. train to Montauk is expected to arrive on track 1, platform A, in approximately 3 minutes.
All right, should be here in a few minutes then. There's usually a delay and a lag of these cookbook announcements and the actual time the train arrives. This is at the community of Shirley here on eastern Long Island, south shore of New York, Long Island, New York. We're about 62 miles or 100 kilometers east of Midtown Manhattan. Again, this train is 8710, which runs on Saturdays and Sundays from Jamaica to Montauk. And there's usually a fair amount of people that get off here at Mastic-Shirley. I missed that comment, I'm sorry. I'm working against the glare here of the sun over my shoulder. This is looking west, back up the track, back toward New York City. Let me just turn around a little bit until the train gets here. This is looking east, out toward the east end of Long Island and Montauk. It's another hour and 25 minutes trip from here to the end of the line at Montauk. Yeah, it's standard gauge. Standard European, North American standard gauge railway. Okay, so that's Mastic-Shirley station here in the community of Shirley. Some people ask, why is it named Mastic-Shirley? Because the original Long Island Railroad station here was at the community of Mastic, about 1.25 miles, 1.5 miles to the east of us. And then in the 1950s, mid to late 1950s, the developer of this area donated land to the Long Island Railroad and to the town for a new station here at Shirley. And it was decided to go ahead with that plan, put a new station in here at Shirley, but name it Mastic-Shirley Station. And that's what it's been ever since the mid to late 1950s. This is at the crossing of William Floyd Parkway here in eastern Suffolk County, Long Island. One of the busiest grade crossings in Suffolk, in that it's a 6-lane highway going across the track here. I'm watching west because I'll see the headlight of the train as it comes around a curve about 1.5 miles to the west of us. And then after the train, we see the train here arrive and depart. As I mentioned, we'll take a ride over to Smith Point County Park to the Atlantic Ocean Beach. It's about a 10-minute drive from here. Yeah, isn't that something, Andrea? It's crazy here.
Attention Long Island Railroad customers. The 1:20 p.m. train to Montauk is expected to arrive on track 1, platform A, in approximately 6 minutes.
All right, so now they're running a little bit behind schedule. So their announcements are changing. It's now 1:20 here, which is the time the train is due to depart Mastic-Shirley for Spionk. So they're either traveling with a large passenger load, or they had to wait for the arrival of equipment from the east to turn it. No, not in France, only in Germany and Holland and Belgium, but I never rode a train in France. I've been on European trains in, as I say, Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, and Denmark, but not in France. All right, so we're running a little late right now. Beautiful day here, folks, on the East End. Well, this was before, it was intercity trains, but it was before they called it that, you know, the high speed or the intercity trains. This was a long time ago when I was in Europe with the U.S. Army. But we traveled most of those places in Europe by train. It was pretty reasonable in those days, as I'm sure it is right now, compared to flying or even driving. We would always travel second-class compartments. The old coaches that used to have the 6 or 8 seats in a compartment. One of the neatest trips I ever had was going to Denmark, Copenhagen and back, where you know, we went up through Germany, through Hamburg, and then they put the entire train on a ferry to cross the waterway there between Germany and Denmark. Then the train was taken off the ferry and back on the regular tracks, and then travel to Copenhagen. That was quite an experience.
Attention Long Island Railroad customers. The 1:20 p.m. train to Montauk is expected to arrive on track 1, platform A, in approximately 3 minutes.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Denmark was really beautiful. I only spent a week there, based in Copenhagen, but I did as much touring as I could during that week. Taking daily bus trips up north to Elsinore Castle and places like that. Now I understand they have a bridge that goes across the sea, the Baltic Sea neck there, all the way to between Denmark and Sweden. Combination vehicle and train bridge crossing that body of water. Malmo, yes, thank you for reminding me of that. Thank you, appreciate that. Beautiful day here on eastern Long Island, good people. Temperature is in the mid to high 70s right now, but there's low humidity. We're going to have a beautiful day today, and unfortunately the next day or two is going to be rainy, the leftover from the storm Florence. Obviously we're not going to have any problems here, as the good people in the Carolinas have and are still having. But that storm is now a tropical depression, and it's going to curve north and then northeast back through metropolitan New York area Monday and into Tuesday. Hi Jay Tischler, how are you? Thank you for joining. Appreciate that. No, not yet. I'm watching down the track. I'll be able to spot the headlight as it crosses a road crossing about a mile to the west of us. And then, of course, we'll hear the bells sounding right here at William Floyd Crossing and the gates going down. Now, let me try zooming a little bit. We'll show you what's going on down there. I don't want to. Okay, that's looking to the west. Single track diesel territory. The announcement said it was about 6 minutes late, but it may even be later than that. Again, this is the Mastic-Shirley station at Shirley, Long Island, New York, of the Long Island Railroad. We're waiting for Oh, thanks. Thanks very much for that. Well, I appreciate the French hearts. People, don't stop on the tracks here. Don't stop your cars on these tracks, on the track. That is so silly. So impatient to get across that he won't wait until there's a gap on the other side to make it across. All right, let me get zoomed all the way out again and make sure this is set up for the train to come. There we go. Where's our train, folks? It's now 1:27. So he's over 7 minutes late now. I'll just show you around the area here a little bit. You see people waiting for the train to head east toward Montauk. This station is travel time is about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes from Jamaica, Queens, New York. So the diesel train starts at Jamaica and it runs express out here to Patchogue, about 15-20 minutes to the west of us. And then it stops here at Mastic-Shirley and Spionk to the east of us. And then it makes local stops to Montauk. Yeah, with the Montauk Lighthouse, yes. Exactly right. The famous Montauk Lighthouse, commissioned by President George Washington and built during his first term in office. So that lighthouse has been there since 1790s. Still operating as a lighthouse, although there's a tower now with the light and the foghorn. The actual lighthouse, it really is more or less of a tourist attraction now. I don't know if we can still do it, but years ago we were able to climb up the circular steps up to the top of the lighthouse. That's something I did quite a few times in the past. A lot of history here on Long Island, from colonial days, Revolutionary War days. Here comes the train. I see the headlight. It's coming to Smith Road crossing to the west of us. And I'm not going to zoom in and out again because I don't want to take any chances with my iPhone 7 getting stuck in the zoom position. So we'll pick it up very shortly. You may have heard that horn. That was the train crossing Smith Road a mile to the west of us. And here go the gates down now for the William Floyd Parkway crossing. Well, Americans have to be very thankful for Lafayette also, for all that he and the French did for us at the beginning of our country. Right now it's about 76, 78 degrees here, Fahrenheit. Let's see. There we go. There we go. It looks like a 6-car set today with dual engines. So they're not using a cab car in the rear. They're actually using a C3 coach with another DM30 AC. level cars, C3, Kawasaki C3 cars. Each car holds about 165 people on 2 levels. Although at the ends of the cars we have what we call the vestibule area. This is where you enter the car at platform level, and you can see there's steps that go up and steps that go down to the coach area. These cars were built in the late 1990s and put into service out here around 1998, so that they've had this fleet for some time now. All right, again, this is train 8710 to Montauk. Locomotives are EMD DM30s AC. So a few people got off today, folks. All right, thank you very much for joining me here at Mastic-Shirley. I'm going to close this broadcast down, and I'm going to get in my truck and drive over to the ocean beach right now. And we'll be back on the air in about 15 minutes or so from the Atlantic Ocean. You're quite welcome. So I'll be back on the air, let's see, what is it, 1:35 now? About 1:50 time frame. Take care, folks.